Dear, we need to talk. I looked up at my wife of 20-odd years, but the last few were more name-related. Yes, I bet we do, I thought. It's done, she choked. I've broken up with Mike. Sorry, Gwen. I tried to cheer her up while she rubbed her hands. I think you're crazy after all this time. Almost 3 years. Gwen carried on sorrowful. It breaks my heart that it's over, even though I promised you it would end and things would return to normal. What happened? Nice question. It wasn't a surprise as I've observed you becoming sadder in recent months, probably something like that. Gwen kept working without looking at me. We probably lost that special spark since we got used to one another. That sounds familiar. I replied, but she didn't understand. Gwen stunned me more than 2 years ago by telling me our sex life had gotten dull and that she had taken a younger, more active man. She told me, her loving husband, that she still loved me but would keep seeing him. And I must accept it or lose her. They had 2 kids, lived with me, and probably worked for her dad as I did. She even threatened domestic violence charges against me. I warned you it wouldn't last. I learned about Tom via Gwen. Glad you waited so long, dear. Without your empathy, it would have been hard. I shrugged. She told me her plans for our future, even though I didn't have much to say. Tom, everything is back to normal. You can return to our bedroom anytime. I won't be quickly. I'm still unhappy about Mike's packing, so tonight is perfect. He was harsh at the end. Then why? I inquired. He said what? She cried and said I was getting over it, had gained too much weight, and he no longer liked me when I was around. The reckless jerk. I was too old, but he promised to give me new stuff shortly. Mean thing you said. I felt bad for him and tried not to argue with his decision, but I wouldn't sleep in that bed again. Not after all your and Mike's uses. You know I never had him here when you were home. You mean all the days and nights I worked in France on business? The woman remarked, we'll get rid of that old bed. My subtle humor didn't land with her. Tomorrow we'll receive another. I whispered, a new bed could be wonderful. Our uneasy silence lasted a while. I'll make it up to you, Tom. Gwen cheered loudly at the end. We haven't slept together in over 2 years, but I've been thinking about it and think we could reconnect. Tom will see. Could it be Gwen? I asked calmly, as before. Sure, it's possible. Yes, it can. Well, cute. Gwen kept going, strengthening. See, we can continue from where we left off. This is cool when you think about it. We can abandon the last 2 years and start afresh. What did you mean before mocking me in front of our family and friends? Asked her. Before I stopped hanging out at the local bar with my buddies because you and Mike went so often. That's unfortunate, dear. That may not have been the best move since they knew what was happening. Everyone knew Mike and I dated. Gwen, maybe if you hadn't told them so many times how much better he was in bed than me, I thought, remembering the nightmare of Gwen and Mike's buddies repeating me her comments while laughing around me. She groaned, well, not better. Tom, after so many years together, our sex life was new and more intriguing. Like how yours and Mike's changed. She said, I guess so, with a nice smile. Honey, I knew you'd understand. Okay, I understand. However, I'm not sure I can return to that bedroom with you. Honey, you injured my man ego, and I'm not sure I can keep up. That's fine, my wife said. Why not drive to Brighton tomorrow for the weekend? The tiny hotel we frequented is available. We can drive your lovely Jaguar XK140 down as we used to. It will be fun. I'm excited to play with you again. That's hard. I replied briefly, it's nearly impossible. Why, Tom? Any issues with the car? I said, not as far as I know. I no longer own it. It's sold. Shocked, she. It happened. That very much sums up her years-long attention to me. Tom, you sold your Jaguar? Shocked, she. But you loved that car. You spent countless hours on it. How will you sell? It ended when I informed her it had been over a year, and she was shocked by how much our lives had changed and how little she knew about me. Tom, we can get you another one. Another idea was, we may buy back your old one. I informed Gwen, it's not for sale. What else can we buy it with? Tom, with business or Dad's pre-death fund money. You gave the trust money 5 months ago, Gwen. Sharing it with her made me joyful. How did we afford houses for our kids' weddings? Is that where it came from, Tom? She whispered. Never heard from you. I did, Gwen. Just like I said I'd sell the Jag. You were too preoccupied with that awful Mike to listen. But Tom, the family company is fine, right? She appeared needy when she asked. We're all right with money, right? The firm is fine, Gwen, happy to tell her. But we no longer own it. You finalized the transaction a month ago by signing the papers. The number of papers? She inquired ambiguously. I didn't respond. She was too preoccupied with her romance to consider our future. Still, there must be cash. Consider selling the company? Still wealthy? How will we proceed? I gave her time to consider. Let her contemplate all the changes that occurred while she was having fun at parties and with Mike and ignoring us. I said, your share will be just about enough to pay off the house's mortgage kind of loan. Feeling sorrowful, Gwen inquired. Her personal matters kept her busy. Meaning of my share? I spent half on a 45-foot sailboat catch. My career ended early and I'll tour the world. I detest boats, Tom. The pain made her scream. You know I loathe the sea. Yes, I checked. It doesn't fit you. Tom, what are you talking about? Why isn't that boat big enough for me? She inquired as if she had changed her mind about hating the sea. I told her it's designed for 2 sailors. I'm alone with my recently hired deckhand. He answered, but I could still come with you, sweetheart. We might still enjoy the Med or another wonderful place. We may sail to southern France. Kinwin stores were fun to browse. Last year Mike took me there. I'm afraid there's only one cabin, said I. The other thing was true, but the bedroom was excellent. She repeated, only one cabin. The deckhand sleeps where? She believed she discovered me. She was sleeping with me. I told her. Her long-term state. In shock, Gwen sobbed. The deckhand is female. Yes, I said gleefully. French, 28 years old, blonde, slim and attractive. He cooks well, knows boats, and fucks like a rabbit. Gwen started crying after receiving the message. Her tears continued the next day. I met my boat and gorgeous deckhand Giselle in La Rochelle, France. Setting it up took time, but I was getting paid. Gwen didn't know about my 6-bedroom luxury mansion nearby. With the money I saved over the years before selling the firm, I eagerly anticipated swimming with Susie. For some reason, she wouldn't take off her bikini top. I was excited to open the garage doors too. My beloved Jag XK140 has sat alone too long. Giselle and I were going to a fantastic French restaurant down the coast that I knew well. Mike, however, was robbed outside his favorite bar. Robbed and hit. He broke 5 ribs and both kneecaps. The hardest part was losing his pocketbook and a ball. Never again will he walk straight as long as I live. A good day, I suppose.